My name is Louis Gomes. I'm a second year grad student here at Springfield College in the Health Promotion and Disease Prevention program. Came here for undergrad as well. Health education major as an undergrad, and yeah.
So, look, would you please share us your story about your disability, and including like the day you were diagnosed?
So I was diagnosed when I was born. I was diagnosed on November 17th, 1995. So 24 years ago now. And not really sure what caused the disability, but I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So it impacts neuro, so like the brain, and the messages that are sent from the brain to different muscle groups. Obviously, cerebral palsy is different for many cases, so it varies between like severity, between person to person. But it's been a fun ride. A lot of people look at it as a negative thing, but I've embraced it, and it's not going anywhere. So might as well, live it up.
Would you what's the emotional aspect of being diagnosed and living with a disability?
The emotional diagnosis from the start. For me, I mean, I was young, so, but it probably took a toll on my parents. Never really asked them about it, but we've never really needed to go that deep. They've always told me that I could do anything I put my mind to, and that's one of the reasons why I've adapted the never give up attitude that I carry with me on a daily basis. I mean, I have it tattooed on my chest in their handwriting for a reason. That wasn't done by accident, and it's. I look at the whole diagnosis and the whole journey as a positive thing. It's only opened up many different avenues, and I've been able to do things, meet people that I obviously wouldn't have the opportunity to do, at least I believe, if I didn't have the disability. I don't really look at it as a disability because, like I said, it's been more positive than negative. Yeah, there's been hardships, but that's just life. I mean, they're gonna come, and I'm big into wrestling, and I apply the sport to everything I do in my life, and that included. I mean, an obstacle is just another opponent, and it's either gonna take you down, or you're gonna take it down first. If you get taken down, you get back up to your feet, escape, and start off fresh and just keep scoring. So.
How do you feel others view your disability, like individuals or society?
I don't really care what people think. There are people that look at it as a negative. I will say though that as I've gotten older, I have noticed that people like to make assumptions, and people like to set limitations for me. When people do set limitations, they think that it's going to deter where I want to go and what I want to achieve, but that just adds motivation. Society-wise, there's always going to be sort of a stigma that's associated with with people with disabilities. One of my goals in life, and that's why I went into a master's degree in public health, because I want to go into more health advocacy, is to break that stigma. As far as people my age and obstacles that I've faced with society, the one thing that sort of hits home nowadays, especially at this stage of life, is like is dating and things like that. Like people see that, oh yeah, he uses a chair to get around campus. Now, what they don't know is I don't use the chair because I need it. I use it for safety more than anything. And here on campus is the only place that I really use it. Just because, like I said, I'm on my own, and I don't want to be falling all over the place. But when I'm home and when I'm doing my own thing on and off campus, I get up out of it and do what I gotta do. But yeah, I mean that's probably the toughest part right now. You know, because like anyone else, you have an interest in someone else, and you know you're looking at them for their qualities, and people are sitting there looking at you for what they see on the outside. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't make me completely upset because I know how to handle it. Again, it's just another obstacle, but it does make me think about, you know, what if people had more of an open mind, and that's sort of what I strive for. You know, I feel like I have to, you know, not that I have to work harder than anyone, you know, in with things like that, but it makes me wonder, like, would it be different? Would it be easier? You know, would like how would it change? How would it be different if people just, you know,
Have an
really
open mind.
really took the time to see someone from the inside, as opposed to seeing the outside and just putting a label on it and, you know, setting limitations. So
What has been a frustration, barrier, or difficulty with your disability?
there's been a lot of frustration over the years. I've learned how to deal with it. I've never once, you know, looked at it as like a negative aspect. I've always been grateful for it. You know, it took me 6 years to get my license, but I got it. And you know, my driving is still evolving, but it's been a journey. Just because it took so long doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing. But my biggest struggle, my biggest difficulty is having to use my time to, you know, work toward achieving goals that people say can't be done. Like, I don't set my goals based on what people tell me I can do. If they line up and it's a goal that I had and it also, you know, goes in line with something that someone said I can't do, then cool, you know, kill two birds with one stone. But I don't set my goals off of the opinions of people. When I started wrestling, I didn't make the team for 3 years, but I made it my senior year, and that's not because I walked away from the sport. It's because I stuck with it, and been wrestling ever since. Went 0-20 in my high school career, and I'm 0-25 right now, but I lost by 1 point in my last match. So, you know, most people, they get done with high school, they get done with college, they stop wrestling. I'm going to be doing open tournaments until my body tells me I can't do them anymore. So, yeah.
What's your motivation every single day?
My motivation is the motto, never give up, and just to live my life to the fullest. I've got great people and great, you know, support systems. My biggest attributes in life aren't the things that I have, it's the people that I have. You know, being able to get up every morning and to work out, and to, you know, just have so many people around me that make me smile. That's pretty much my inspiration, to people around me. Like I said, those are my biggest assets. Those are my, you know, biggest resources. And while some people say that, you know, I'm an inspiration to them, you know, they're really inspiring me. Not that I wouldn't be motivated to, you know, achieve my goals. People just add to the joy of, you know, this journey. You know what I mean? Yeah. It makes every day. Obviously every day is worth it, but it makes every day special. You know, 9 times out of 10, I start my day thinking about, you know, all the great people that I have, whether that be friends, family, coaches, things like that, and that's how I end my day. And I think that's one thing that people forget is gratitude. You know, there's being thankful and saying that you're thankful, and then there's being thankful and feeling that you're thankful for something. It's like so many people spend all day looking for like the silver lining when sometimes they just have to look down and look down at where their feet are. You know, that could be the highlight of your day, but everyone's, you know, worried about looking, you know, 10 miles down the road about what they need to do tomorrow or what they didn't do yesterday. You know,
What got you into wrestling?
so my phys ed teacher in 6th grade noticed that I had a lot of upper body strength. So he recommended that I get into the sport of wrestling. Didn't really think about it until I got to high school. And I've always been a big sports fan. I always loved like basketball, soccer, all those things. I grew up, playing all the backyard sports with friends and family. But tried wrestling once, and I fell in love with it, and it's like I said, literally what I eat, sleep, and breathe. Obviously, I do other things, but wrestling is my backbone.
What's different from wrestling from any other sport? Why does it intrigue you so much?
It's a new level, and it's a different level of self accountability. You have no one else to blame, and it teaches you a lot of lessons. Teaches you about resilience, never giving up, working hard. If you're not going to put the work in, the work's not going to be there. Every day people are like, oh, well, I've had some people, make comment, oh, well, you're up at 6 a.m. and you're doing all these workouts and you're not competing until July. If I'm not working hard right now, I'm not going to win in July. No, you get up every morning, you do the workouts, not so that you can say that you did your workout, because you don't win a match tomorrow by showing up tomorrow. You don't win matches at tournaments, and you don't win matches in the moment of the match. You just pick up those wins physically. Pick up those wins when you step out on the mat. All the hard work and all the points that you score, those are slowly accumulating each workout you put in. So that's sort of my aspect of the sport, and it's been fun. Other people ask me, oh, well, don't you get upset when people don't warm up when they see that you're gonna wrestle them? I'm like, no, why would I get upset? You're just making my job easier. You don't warm up, I'm gonna be warm, and by the time that you realize that you should have warmed up, I've already scored the first 2 points. By then it's too late. So
The relationships that you created on campus, how has your disability impacted your terms of social and relationship functioning?
that's a good question. So I got two sides of that. So I've got the positive side, where I've met, the closest friends that I have on campus throughout the, and now beyond campus, throughout the past 6 years, and the relationship that I've created with the Springfield wrestling team. I feel like I'm a part of the team. One of the reasons why I'm not working as a manager this year, and I did it for a little bit last year, is because I just love being around the sport, and I love being able to watch the sport and embrace it for what it is. Having that managerial position for me kind of limits me, because I have to focus on something else, and doesn't allow me to fully engage myself in going to the Doug Parker this coming weekend and things like that. But I've met tons of people on campus, because and not because of my disability. But I've also met a ton of people that have sort of, they see who I am, and I don't want to sound cocky by saying this, but they see who I am, and they know my story. And on weekends or whatever the case may be, when they're around people, they're like, oh yeah, we should get together, and they're like, oh Lou, we're such great friends. But when push comes to shove on a normal Tuesday, not that I need everyone calling me and telling me to come hang out, but it's like, let's, I'm a guy, I'm a college student just like anyone else. You don't need to announce the fact that you're
Right.
you're my me or whatever. So I've met some of my best friends are on this campus, but there's still some instances where people are they treat me in not in a negative way, but just a different way.
Do you feel that people treat you in a special way because of your situation, or would you want people to treat you like just the way you are?
I honestly, like I said, the chair is just, you know, how many wheels are there? 4 wheels. So yeah, I had to count the wheels on the chair. I don't look at it I look at it as a part of me. It's a resource that I use. You know, I feel, you know, welcomed, and I feel, you know, accepted by people both on and off this campus, and you know, it's just, I feel like we should, like I said before, we should see people for who they are internally as opposed to externally. And the thing that gets me is when people, you know, they feel obligated to say hello. Now I can sense when it's a hello, it's a genuine hello, or a hey, how you doing? Or it's a hello because you see my chair, or it's a hello because, oh, I have to say hi to him because he's, you know, he has cerebral palsy or whatever the case may be. Not to be mean, but you don't have to say hi to me. I mean, my day will not be ruined if someone doesn't say hi to me. I'm not gonna, you know, not gonna go in a, you know, go in a corner and cry about it. You want to say hi to me? You want to hang out with me? Cool. You know, I love hanging out with a ton of people, but you don't have to go out of your way to do that. Like I said, I don't mean that in, you know, in a negative way at all. But I like to joke around with people, and I could sense it. If I'm with a bunch of my friends, and you know, I'll notice someone, you know, come say hi, and where I notice it most is when it's a quick transition between a conversation with me and another person or another friend of whoever, you know, talked it with that tone. I can notice it right away. It's just an auditory switch that I can sense in their voice. And it's more annoying than anything. You know, I joke around with friends, you know, right in the moment. Sometimes I say things and I don't even care if the person heard me. Like, I'll look at my buddy and I'll go, hey, next time they probably shouldn't say hi. I don't want them to hurt themselves, you know? Like,
Yeah.
don't hurt yourself trying. Like, I'm good. I got, you know, I have my squad, I have my people. You know, I have my friends, I got the wrestling team. I don't have that problem with any of the guys on the wrestling team. They see me for who I am, and that's one of the reasons why I love this team, and I love, you know, being around this campus. But there are some people, and I'm just like, really, you know, you're gonna pull a hamstring if you know, you're gonna hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
What advice would you give to counselors who are going to be working with people with disabilities?
That's plain and simple. Figure or take the first step in learning about who the person is as a person, and second about the disability. Don't see the disability in the person. See the person with the disability. Additionally, don't even use the word disability. We all have disabilities. We all have things that, you know, we all have weaknesses. Some people care to address them. Others, the disabilities may look, or may, you know, sort of surface more obvious, you know, appear more evident, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You can see them more. But, you know, just see the person for who they are, and allow them to set goals, not limitations. There's plenty of people that will sit there and go, oh, I can't do this, so I'm not going to try. You know, growth mindset. We don't sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm terrible at, oh, my favorite thing is, oh, I'm terrible at chemistry or whatever. Why are you taking chemistry? You're taking chemistry to learn. If you were good at everything, you wouldn't learn anything. There wouldn't be the point of taking a class. You know, it's... Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone with a disability and who's feeling like the world's against them?
Dream big and honestly never give up. Surround yourself with good people. If you don't have those good people, you know, go find them. Don't let your disability be who you are. It's just a part of the journey. You know, it's a part of the journey. It's not who you are. It doesn't dictate what you can do. You know, it's look at it as a positive. I mean, it's not like I said. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
Just run with it. Set your goals. You know, when I first started wrestling, when I wanted to wrestle, when I wanted to, you know, try out for the team, there was no tryouts. Someone literally walked up to me and said, "You can't wrestle," and I'm like, "All right, well, why can't I wrestle?" They gave me 5 reasons why I couldn't wrestle. I wrote them down. Those are my next 5 goals for the next 3 years. It's not, you know, life's too short. You know, I take day by day. Every day's a match. You get up out of bed, that's 1 point. You're gonna keep scoring, or you're gonna get taken down. You know, you go to school, your class is your, you know, that's your technique part of practice. Homework, those are your live goes. You know, tests, those are your tournaments and dual meets. Doing well in a class, you know, those are your national titles. You know, getting your, you know, bachelor's degree, master's degree, those are your All-American honors. What are you gonna do to get those things? No one else is doing it for you. If you're not taking the steps that you need to, you're not gonna, it's gonna be tough. It's supposed to be tough. If it wasn't tough, everyone would do it, you know?
Absolutely. Is there any final comment you'd like to say to the class, or anything that you'd like these students to resonate with them?
Honestly, just take the time to evaluate your goals, evaluate how you're looking at your specific journey, and just see people with disabilities as people that don't have disabilities. Look beyond that. You know, you don't have to, beat yourself up over the fact that, you know, you may have looked at the person in the wheelchair as, you know, as this, you know, as someone that can't be doing something. One final thing is, like, my main goal is to eventually coach wrestling, and the main reason why is because, one, the sport's changed my life, but one of my biggest pet peeves is seeing all those highlights on Facebook and things about the team manager and all these other sports. Team manager gets to play 1 game.
Right.
Do we really need to know that he played 1 game? Let's look deeper, and let's go back to the first day when they walked into your office. Did they ask you to be a manager, or did a coach tell them to be a manager?
Right.
Managing is great, but if someone wants to compete, there should be no reason why you can't compete. You can't sit here and tell me that just because someone has a disability they can't do something. Like, people have, you know, in discussion and conversation, like, oh well, if something were to get hurt, if the person were to get hurt, then this would be, you know, a legal issue. Yes, it would, but that's for all athletes. If you feel the person can't compete in a wrestling match, don't put him out there, but don't tell him, don't limit the fact that he can't at least try to go get, you know, a doctor's note, or get cleared to, you know, have a physical. If he can't compete in a match, in a competition, let him, you know, legally, within the legal rules, let them, you know, practice. I'm not saying don't make them go through all the rules of getting a physical, doing all the paperwork, things like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you, instead of just saying, oh no, you can't do it, let's evaluate, let's take the time, let's figure out what we can do. If they want to be a manager, sure, let them be a manager. But it doesn't have to be a one-time thing. You don't have to sit there and go, oh, he got out there, so it's good. You ever think he wanted to get out there more than one time? He or she wanted to get out there more than one time? It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Again, yes, we want to make sure everyone is safe. We want to make sure no laws are broken. We want to, you know, avoid lawsuits, things like that. But to sit there and say, oh, no, we can't do it, but here, you can do this. because I said you can do this. No, let's make all those headlines of someone with cerebral palsy wrestling a match. Let's put it let's get it in the news as a headline for someone that athletically achieved the goal. I'm not saying if they don't win, don't put it as a motivational story, but get away from the team manager was able to compete one time. No, let's get this happening more often so that it doesn't become a Facebook headline. I share all those Facebook things because it's there, and I'm not gonna not share it, but it like enrages me the fact that you think this is not you. People think it's fine just to give them one opportunity. Let's people set goals. We all have goals. Let's make this a regular thing, and let's see it happening more, so that it doesn't become such a shocker or such a amazing feat. The amazing feat is the journey when you look at it as a full. If you would like to get the athlete, if you would like to write a motivational story about how a wrestler with cerebral palsy persevered through this obstacle, through that obstacle, that's fine. That's awesome. That's great. That's what we want. That's what we would like to see. But we need to get away from one opportunity. It takes one person to change the world. Just because someone can't do something right away doesn't mean you just put a limit on it. If you sit there and if I listened to everything someone said to me, I wouldn't be able to tie my shoes. Like, it just doesn't add up to me. I feel like people need equal opportunity to achieve success, especially in sports, especially when it comes to sports and disabilities. What I want to start seeing in the news is an athlete that competed a full season. I had to modify the sport all on my own at first. Now I have phenomenal coaches back home that I'm working with that have helped me tremendously. But from the get-go, I had to build everything. I had to do my own research. I wasn't expecting a one-on-one practice with my coaches, because they had other coaches or other athletes to coach. But let's get away from one opportunity. Let's give them more than one opportunity. Let's let them get the full experience of being an athlete. And everything doesn't need to be a feel-good, sugar-coated headline. If I wanted that, I probably would have quit wrestling after I lost my first match. I'm 0-25. I've been 0-25 I lost my last 3 matches, and I came 1 point away from winning. That's not because that's not because I had a disability, to be quite honest. It's because I made mistakes with my technique. I don't see my disability as the reason that I lost. Just like any other athlete, you make mistakes, you correct them, you get caught in bad spots, especially wrestling. You reach back, they get 2. They get 2 in the first period. If you're down by 2 at the end of the match, why do you think you lost by 2? It's plain and simple. The disability's not going anywhere, so let's stop acting like it is, and let's get athletes out there and have the ability to showcase their true potential, not potential that's set by someone else.
Thank you.